Laywoman Yufeng Chen, who lives in Taitung, was an expert in clothing before she heard of Buddhism. She is intelligent and wise. As soon as hearing of the Pure Land Buddhism, she realized that life is impermanent and all matters are empty, so she gave up making clothes for others. She bought 2 strings of pearl necklaces in the street and threaded them into a string of rosary beads. She started reciting in the morning and evening class and kept chanting the Buddha every day, so as to benefit herself. Furthermore, she brought forth the resolve for bodhicitta in order to benefit other people. At that time, all the believers in eastern Taiwan were beginners and few of them were chanting Buddha. She remitted 500 Taiwan dollars to Taichung to buy 50 strings of rosary beads. From then on, she took the rosary beads to her friends' homes every day and taught them to chant Buddha's name and gave the rosary beads to them as a gift. One day Yufeng went to the Sun East soy sauce factory with a rosary in her hand, to persuade people to recite the Buddha's name. The factory owner's last name is Ho, and his wife is named Argui. At that time, his family lived on the grassy hut street. 14 years ago, there were not as many high-rise buildings of steel and concrete as there are now, and most of them were made of wood. The Sun East soy sauce factory wasn't exceptional, it was also a wooden house covered with straw. One day, Yufeng was holding the beads and came to Ho's house to teach Argui to chant Amitabha Buddha. When talking about the benefits of chanting Amitabha, suddenly, they heard people hustling and bustling on the street. The whistle sounded very nervous. Then, someone yelled loudly, "Sun East soy sauce factory is on fire." Yufeng and Argui looked back outside, the police station's red fire truck had arrived at the door. They looked back. It turned out that the fire was started from the house next door on the right and had spread to the factory behind them. Back then the house had been full of smoke. It happened to be a factory vacation, and all the family members and workers had gone out for fun. Only Argui stayed home alone. As soon as they saw that the fire was rushing in, they knelt down on the ground and put their palms together and chanted sincerely, "Namo Amitabha Buddha, Namo Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva of great mercy and compassion for the suffering." After chanting for about 5 minutes, it was really able to subdue the wind and fire, and to shine brightly in the world. Immediately, a south wind came up and blew the fire to the back. It didn't take long for the 5 small grass huts in the back to burn to the ground. Fortunately, the soy sauce factory and the store were safe and sound, except for a dozen pieces of wood paneling connecting to the next door that were scorched. At this point, some people may say, why does Avalokiteshvara save only those who chant his name but not save the 5 straw huts where the residents didn't chant the Buddha and let the fire burn them to the ground without saving them? It is to know that the grassy hut street is a long small street. If Argui's house had caught fire, the fire would have spread north to the whole street. When it's ignited, it'll be difficult to be extinguished, and the damage would have been incalculable. Meanwhile, the 5 small straw huts might not be spared from the disaster. It is really the blessing of Buddha and Bodhisattva that turned the big disaster into a small disaster. It is also fortunate to meet the good knowledge of Sister Yufeng. Argui was very grateful to her mercy and blessing.